Hello again, and thank you for joining Jeff and Jenny's Classic Restorations in association with Vintage Moped World. Well, I'm sorry we've been away quite a time. It's been absolute chaos here, and so it's a bit late, but I would hope that everyone had a lovely Christmas, and I wish you all a very happy New Year. Well, today, a little bit of a job, but also a little bit of an update as well, and so I'll show you what I've got to do and what I've been up to and for the future. Well, this has been my biggest problem for the last 2 weeks. My son's gearbox for his Scirocco. This is, you can see here what's happened here. Some cog in the final drive smashed the outside of this, lost all its oil. Eventually it did break down and we had to have it towed back, and along with my mechanic friend that came and went a lot of the time, and my neighbour helped me on Boxing Day to try and get the second-hand one in, and touch wood, that's been fine since. He's got other problems, but that's another story. So this is what's taken me all this time. I finished it last Thursday, today being Friday, so over a week ago, and then caught flu on the Friday, so that was that week out the window. So this is what's taking up all my time, getting this blooming gearbox in. So I'll show you some things that are running well. Well, here we go, back to an old friend here now. I've decided to keep this one. I'm going to sell the red one, the direct bikes one, which is a shame, but I do need to do something because of the strikes. So I will be selling the red one. This one is now insured, and it's registered historic. It's on the road now. Haven't had a chance yet. I've been having just one problem with it. As you can see, I remember I was waiting for this front panel. Well, I finally able to get it's a brand new one actually, but I had to sand it down, paint it into the same shade of orange. Still got the same trouble with the indicators. Only one side works. I will go back to it at some stage, but there'll be hand signals on the other side for now, and some of this will have to come off with my latest problem, but I'll show you what I've got to do in a moment. And I've taken the top box off of the direct bikes, so I've got this can be useful for shopping. Well, this has been my problem. I think it's the carburetor problem. The carburetor, the engine started and it runs okay, but it overflows with fuel. I've tried all sorts of things, adjusting the float level and bits and pieces. I've now bought a new valve seat and a new valve to go in shortly. I just would like to get this sorted. The other day I thought I'd done it, it didn't leak, started it up, next minute the whole floor is full of petrol. So I'll be having a look at that today, try and get this new valve seat in, and seeing if we can finally get this to not leak and run on the road. And the other thing was here, whilst this was in storage and I took off the one of the side panels, something dripped on it, ruined it a bit, so that's going to have to be sanded down in the next few days, and then finally that will go back on there again. Well, I'll just check this petcock valve. I've just taken off the lever there, and it all seems okay in there, but when this is in the on position, the fuel should actually not flow because of the vacuum. Just had a look at the diaphragm at the back there, and it's okay, but I'm not 100% happy with it. I'm not sure I can get another diaphragm. I will look for it. So we're back to the carburetor. I'm not sure if this valve should actually stop fuel flowing through, but if not, I'll have to come up with some temporary arrangement, some sort of tap-in line or something for now. So this this is the other thing. I still haven't been able to get another nut to go in there in the choke mechanism. I just put a little bit of PTF tape, which just does hold it to get it started and that. So let's get this carburetor off and see if we can stop it overflowing. But so until I get this petcock done, I think it's still going to have problems. Also, please ignore any background noises. It's getting on my nerves. The council cutting the grass, and strimming. So I'll get this carburetor off, and we'll see what it's like by putting the new valve in. Right, there we go for the 100th time, trying to get this blooming thing off. it's very fiddly to get to these screws at the back and get them on again, and that's to support for the air filter. So let's just get it off again from here. Okay. As I say, the other day I thought I got it. It actually stopped leaking, and I started it up. 2 minutes later, pouring out again. So here we go again. Let's have a look inside of this and try the new valve in it. Okay, let's go for the usual procedure again. And I say, please apologise about the noise now. They did stop for a minute. Now they're going at it again, strimming and that. So I do apologise. Okay, let me just get inside here and I'll come back to you. Okay, so we've got the bowl off now, and just going to have to remove the little pin that goes through there. Take the float off. There we go. Right, okay, now we need to take out this securing now. I do apologise about this noise. People are a pain in the backside when you're trying to do things. So we take this one off. This is supposed to help hold this in. There we go. And then we've got the new replacement valve seat and a nice new shiny valve. So hopefully that will stop the continual leaking. But so let's try and get that out quickly. Right, now, there we go, that's coming out. Now I did buy new rubber the other day, £6 plus something stupid postage. So I could have just saved the money. This was £12 online, and some of the Suzuki ones are ridiculously expensive, £30–40 just for one of them. So, okay, so we can put that in now. Hopefully that will seat in there nicely. Gently. Going down, going down. There we go, that's it. Okay, right. There's the old one, just a metal tip to it. And this one's got the little rubber tip. So I'm not optimistic in the long term, but it would be nice if you can just stop the flow of fuel coming out for now. At least go and take it for a little test ride. Okay, so I did spend plenty of time readjusting this tab. It was either too high, too low. So this can go on. There we go, that can go on there. And Jenny's got the ump as well with the noise. Okay. And get this pin back in. Okay, let me just slide this back in and get this sorted. Just going in now, but just go all the way through. There we are. And have a quick look. Seems to be quite good. Okay, what I'm going to do is just, I don't know, this is how I always test it, and it did seem to work before, but what I tend to do is blow through the inlet, which is obviously working, and tip it upside down. You won't see this, and nothing. So as far as testing that should be okay, but I'm not that hopeful. I'm just hoping that over the years this is worn down, or that old valve is just not seating properly. But at least we now know that that's okay in there. So I'm going to get this back on and we'll see if it leaks again. Okay, right, I can't really test it because the fuel has drained back into the jerry can, but this is going to be awkward as always. We just need to get this lined up. Usually the screws fall through full to the back again, so it's just a case of getting this lined up to start with. So I don't think I'm going to bother showing you all this because this is a pain, and you don't want to hear swearing either. So just try and start it off first of all. And now that screw is now gone. Let me get this back on before you hear any swearing, and I'll come back to you. We can test it, but I'm not 100% hopeful. Okay, so all the fuel is now drained back into this jerry can, so we'll start all over again. So I'm not hopeful, but I'm just hoping with a new valve in it, it will stop it pouring out. I think that'll do for now. How are we doing? Seems to be okay at the moment, but it generally is until you go to start it. So let's go for a start, shall we? Well, I'm sorry I haven't been able to give you a conclusion to this. I've written to a friend of mine who actually did sell me the bike. He's a bit of a Suzuki expert, so hopefully he might be able to know where I can get a diaphragm from for this petcock valve at the back there. That should actually be stopping the fuel coming through anyway, but there's still no reason why it should still keep leaking, so just coming out the overflow. But anyway, I'll come back to that one, and I'm just going to show you our next project for spring. Now I picked this up the other day, being on strike, but it was quite a good price. So this is our next project. It's a Suzuki Mini Chic, usual sort of horrible condition with the wheels and that, but it's supposed to be a very good engine on them. So I'm going to, I need some new tyres. It's got a hole in the front there, and this will be our future project. So this will be coming up hopefully in the next couple of weeks, maybe the stripping down, and then we will endeavour to restore this one and hopefully have better luck with the fuel. But anyway, so that's that. So you know, can't get on the road yet. It is insured now. Jenny's waiting there for it to start, but it isn't, is it? No. So I'll come back to you shortly. Well, after nearly giving up, here we go. Finally back on again now. It was the float I had to bend into shape slightly because it was I think it was hitting the side of the float bowl, and so it was just not going up and switching it off. It was fine when the bowl was off, but once it was on, it was sticking. So now there we go. So I'll leave this for tonight. I've got to get all the bits and pieces back on again, but if we come back round here, there we go. As I mentioned, this is one little job to do when it's warmer. The indicators work, but not the other side. So it's something fairly simple, just that I have tried for hours last year. But okay, we can get on, get some of the panels back together, and hopefully go out for a little test ride at some stage. Well, after nearly giving up, I finally got there with that one. So started raining now, so as soon as we get a little bit better weather, I can well, take it for a bit of a run. I can get that panel sorted out as well, the orange panel, get all the other panels back, a little bit of tuning, make sure it's all okay, and then that one will be on the road. So we've still got that nice little Suzuki to do later on, and once again, I do apologise about the delay in the last video, since the last one. And so, as I mentioned at the beginning, we hope you had a good Christmas, and we wish you a happy new year. So on behalf of Jenny Girl and myself, we wish you a very good evening. Please take care out there. Goodbye for now. Thank you.